Were you going to show us how to set up a follow-up?
So the workflow that I just showed you.
Is that the same thing? So as opposed to actually a reminder to follow up, not an automated follow-up. So in other words, kind of like a reminder that says, hey, Dave, in 2 weeks, you were going to reach back out to this guy. So more like a reminder.
As far as creating a task to follow up,
Okay.
if you went into a particular contact, you would go to task and then add a task saying, follow up about XYZ client.
And where will that show up to remind me to do that task?
So let's see here. Alex, I'm gonna set this up for you and then I'll just delete it afterward. But
Okay.
so you know what I'm gonna say here that I want to follow up with them on Friday.
Right.
Hit save, and then if I go to my dashboard, if I scroll down in this task section, it shows up there. And you can always customize this so that you can move things around.
Okay.
I can like move it here.
Right.
If I want the task to be up here, I can do that.
Okay.
So yeah, you can play around and move the placement of things, and then even add different widgets for things that, if you want to see all your different appointments coming up, you can do that way.
Is there somewhere in the contact area, so when you enter in a new contact, where I could just enter a whole bunch of info about the contact? Maybe I don't need to use Engage Pro at all if I could set up a task, but then somewhere I can add all that information about them.
Yeah, so you would go into the contact and then click on notes, and then you would add stuff here.
Interesting.
So anything that you do, like if you have a one-to-one, for example, you can just do add a one-to-one on 5/21, and then just put all of your notes in here, and then just hit save, and then it'll show up here. And then, so a couple things with with the tag stuff. Like Robert and I went to a soccer game together. We both follow different soccer teams, and so like even just different interests you can add as a tag here as well. So you can add one for soccer. We're both in NYC, so we could do that. So that's another way to just, if you want to segment people by interests and stuff like that, you could.
And then can you see all the tags easily, like for a contact? So
yeah,
can I see all Rob's tags?
Account. So if I click on an account here, I can see all of the different tags that on this right here.
Okay.
And then you can see all the different tags that people have.
As far as if it's a phone call, is there special features or things we should be aware about if it's a phone conversation as opposed to, say, an email, or you're going to be able to upload some sort of generated text?
So that would go back to the notes here. You would just kind of manually enter those, saying, let's just say David and I had a conversation today, and you decided that I need to do another one-to-one. So from here, I'll just click on this. See here, click on the calendar, and then add one, saying, we decided that we were going to speak on 4th, and then I'll pick the slot, and then assuming that I have automations in line and connected with this calendar, then if I hit book appointment, both he and I would get the text messages and email to confirm that. And then if I have Zoom connected to it as well, it'll automatically generate a Zoom meeting for that appointment. So if you have, let's say, a 1-hour call that you want to charge like $150 for like 60 minutes, you could do that here where the client has to prepay to confirm the booking. So if I wanted to make this call a paid one, I could go in here and then enable it and say, for this 1-hour call, I want to charge $150.
And from that point forward, if you send that to anyone, it has that in there, as opposed to before it was a free call and anybody can book anytime. That's anytime you're doing this to set these up, go in through calendars.
That would tie the payment specifically to the booking, where in order to book it or to confirm on your calendar, they need to pay that amount. You can still go ahead and invoice people afterwards. So let's just say it's free to book the call, but you want to invoice them after the fact. You would then go ahead and do that So yeah, if you wanted to bill people after the fact, you would just have you would have the product set up here in your product section, and then you would create invoices and send that out to them.
And then I guess the last step to that is, and if you wanted to then bundle or package any of those items together, and have that as an offer.
You would then create a collection, and so
under products.
yeah, and then that would basically bundle them together.